In this video, we are going to learn a few words associated with la politique, with politics. The first word we are going to learn is le parlement, which means parliament. In fact, the English word parliament comes from this French word parlement. Now, parlement, the word parlement literally means talking. So if you take the English verb talk and you add ing, it becomes the noun talking. Similarly, in French, we very often add the suffix ment, ment, at the end of a verb to make the equivalent of the ing in English. So parlement means talking. Right, le parlement is a parliament. That's where a lot of talking goes on. L'État is our next word. L'État means state. In English, we have this phrase, coup d'etat, coup d'etat. This coup d'etat phrase came directly from French, just like that. The coup part of this means, in this case, a strike against something. The strike against état, a strike against the state. So someone's taking over the state illegally. So the état part that we got from the French is the state part. L'état means state. The next word we have is le chef. Le chef means leader. Now, in English, when we think of a chef, we only think of a chef in the context of a kitchen, because a chef, of course, is the leader, so to speak, of a kitchen. They're in charge of a kitchen. But in French, a chef can be someone who's the leader of a kitchen. So the normal meaning of chef in English is also the meaning of chef sometimes in French. But besides that, you can have a chef of a political party, the leader of a political party in French. You can have a chef of a company, the leader of a company. So one of the directors or the CEO, for example. You can have a chef of a department in an organization. So chef in French doesn't have to be just a chef in a kitchen. It could be the leader of any kind of organization or department. The next word is le sondage, a poll. So, whenever there are elections, you get these pollsters and other researchers going out asking members of the public who they plan to vote for and what would affect their votes. Will you vote for, are you planning on voting for candidate A or B or C? What's made you to decide to vote for that candidate? Was it the economy? Was it the crime rate? If the candidate decided to adopt the following person as their running mate, would you change your vote? All these kinds of questions. They want to get the opinions of people. They're conducting a poll. Now imagine someone has a son who's just reached the legal age to vote. So pollsters can now ask them questions about who they're going to vote for. So this person, you could say, his son is of the age. So I'm not saying the age, I'm saying the age when he has his own opinion. Or maybe the son is just still very young, but they're very obnoxious. They have all sorts of opinions. His son is of the age where he has his own opinion. So son is the first part of this word, sondage, son. The age, that the, you can basically say has become that D there, and there's the age. His son is of the age when he has his own opinion. So you can ask his opinion. You can conduct a poll. Le sondage means poll. Now, l'urne électorale is a ballot box. So you go vote, you put a piece of paper with your X next to a certain candidate into this box, into this electoral box, into this ballot box. Now imagine you are a member of a very strange family, even stranger than the Addams family. And one night, you and your family members are trying to decide, should we go to the movies? Should we go to the theater? Should we go somewhere else? So someone in the family suggests, why don't we vote on it? And so you all get a piece of paper and you put your X next to the option that you prefer, and then you put it in the ballot box. But this is a special ballot box. You say, let's put our votes in the urn with grandma's ashes. Why not? You're a weird family. Put it with grandma's ashes. So you are using an urn for your little election at home to decide where you are going to go for the evening. L'urne électorale. So that l'urne électorale should have an E at the end. And the reason it should have an E at the end is because l'urne is actually a feminine noun. The adjective always agrees with the noun gender in French, and électoral is supposed to end in an E if the preceding noun is a feminine noun. Right, so here are the words again: le parlement, l'État, le chef, le sondage, and l'urne électorale. Now let me give you some rules again about gender. In one of the previous videos, I said to you that if you're not sure of the gender of a noun and it ends in a vowel sound when you pronounce it, it's probably masculine. Now, if you applied that rule to le parlement and said, okay, when I say it, it ends in the R sound, so that's a vowel sound when I say it, so it's probably masculine. Now, you would be correct, but it is better to use a rule that says with 100% certainty if a noun is masculine or feminine. And we can't always say with 100% certainty if something is masculine or feminine, but sometimes we can. So notice the suffix of le parlement, the last four letters, that's M-E-N-T. Every single time a noun ends in M-E-N-T, ment in French, you know it's masculine. So never mind the rule about ending on a vowel sound probably being masculine. If you see M-E-N-T at the end like that, you know with 100% certainty, no guesswork, no probability, 100% certainty, this is a masculine noun. The next one, letter, is it masculine or feminine? Well, when we say it, it ends in an A. When we say it, it ends in a vowel sound. Don't worry about how it's written. How it's pronounced is what counts. So if we have to guess, we would guess it's masculine. In fact, we would be correct. Most of the time when you apply that, let's call it the guessing rule of where the last sound that you hear when you say the word is a vowel sound, where if you apply the rule that says this is masculine, you're probably right most of the time. Okay, le chef is masculine. Now, you might think, now, how am I going to know that le chef is masculine? Well, here's another rule. I like to call this the rule of sexism. If you have a profession or a human being, and so here we have chef, a human being, leader, and it is not clear if this is male or female. We don't know if we're talking about a male leader or female leader. Apply the rule of sexism and say, okay, all professions are male, masculine. All leaders are masculine. Now, it is a sexist rule, but it is actually how French works. And there's a whole debate in the French language about this kind of thing. So if there isn't a feminine version of chef, then you assume the gender is masculine. You apply the rule of sexism. Okay. And when I say, by the way, when I say if there isn't a feminine version, think of the English word actor and the English word actress. There's a feminine version in English of the word actor. And similarly in French, there's acteur and actrice, the masculine and the feminine. But for chef, there is no different noun. So you apply the rule of sexism and say, chef must be masculine. It refers to a profession or to a human being, must be masculine. All right. Then the next thing, pole. Pole is masculine. That one is very difficult to predict. Well, not too difficult. Most nouns, I would say, I'm going out on a bit of a limb here, but I would say most nouns that end on AGE are masculine. Definitely not all, but most. Now, l'urne électorale, l'urne is definitely feminine. And a rule to apply that doesn't always work, but works a lot of the time is this. If you look at the word urne, the last letter in there is an E, but that E is silent. If a word ends on a silent E, and especially if that silent E is written there to indicate pronounce that last consonant, so pronounce the N, then we know that is probably a feminine noun. So if we didn't write that last E, a French speaker might be tempted to pronounce the UR, but not the N. So in French, they often write an E after the last consonant of a word to indicate you need to pronounce the preceding consonant. So that E in this case says you must pronounce the N. So again, if a noun ends on a silent E, especially where that E's job is to tell us as readers of that word to pronounce the consonant in front of that silent E, that is probably a feminine noun, not always. Right? So I've given you quite a few rules in this video, but I will repeat these kinds of rules every time we see different nouns, and eventually they'll start to go in, and you'll be predicting French noun gender with almost 100% accuracy. Right, so here are some things for you to try. As usual, write down the list 5 times. Write it down, regurgitate it, it's important. Write it down in your head, so to speak. Picture the English words, picture the French words, it helps. Also, go find famous quotes with words in them. Find famous quotes with the word état, for example. So there's a famous quote by Louis XIV. L'État, c'est moi. The state, it's me. In other words, I am the state. I'm in charge. I am the supreme commander. Therefore, that's an example of a quote you would want to find. And in the process, you'd improve your general knowledge as well. Hold a mock election at home. Who cares if people think you're crazy? You're learning, let them think you're crazy. You'll speak French, they won't. So hold a mock election and say to them, okay, these are the words we are going to use. Put your piece of paper in l'urne électorale and whatever it is that you want to do. Why not do crazy things? It's not going to kill you. It's going to make learning more interesting, more fun, more embarrassing. It doesn't matter. The point is you're learning. Right, I hope this video helped you a little bit, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.